An ADC extreme heat apocalypse suddenly descended. Due to the shortage of supplies, I refused to help my stepmother's family. Unexpectedly, when I wasn't paying attention, my father secretly brought them into my house. I was brutally murdered. And all my supplies fell into the hands of those thieves. When I opened my eyes, I found that my stepmother's family and I had all been reborn. Returning to 3 months before the apocalypse, I decisively reported the impending apocalypse to the government, while my stepmother's family crazily hoarded supplies and built a doomsday safe house, happily waiting for the end of the world to come. The wound on my stomach made me twitch uncontrollably. The massive blood loss made me feel like I was plunged into an ice cave. My biological father, Hirunfa, was standing right in front of me, watching helplessly as I was brutally murdered by my stepmother's family of 3, remaining completely indifferent. You didn't expect this, did you? Your father brought us back again. My position in his heart is much more important than yours. You. Stop struggling. I can hardly hold you down anymore, since you are unwilling to share your supplies. We have no choice but to send you to hell. I never expected that. My only relative would let wolves into the house for 3 outsiders. Cruelly pointing the butcher's knife at me, I suddenly woke up with a start, finding myself lying on the bed at home, my body already soaked in cold sweat. I subconsciously reached out to touch my stomach. Fortunately, it was intact. When I finally gathered my senses, I turned on my phone and glanced at the date. I realized I had returned to 3 months before the extreme heat apocalypse. 3 months later, the atmosphere would be destroyed by unknown substances. The weather would suddenly become abnormal, and in just half a month, the temperature would soar to 80°C. Tens of thousands of living beings would be burned to death. The world would completely fall into chaos. I was just about to get out of bed, but through the crack in the door, I saw the lights were on outside. It was the middle of the night. Being cautious, I didn't go out to check in person. I quietly opened the app connected to the living room security camera. And there I saw Chen Xingju, tightly hugging her 2 children, crying loudly, "This is great, we didn't die. God must have opened his eyes, letting us be reborn together and live to see today." I gritted my teeth, my nails digging deeply into my palms. The flames of hatred rushed straight to my head. I didn't expect these animals to be reborn too, right at that moment. My stepmother Chen Xingzu's vicious gaze suddenly turned. She lowered her voice and said, "I just tested the old man. He's completely normal. Do you think you might have been reborn like us?" She picked up a coldly gleaming fruit knife from the toward my room. In the end, logic triumphed over my emotions. I quickly turned off my phone screen, held my breath, and simulated an even, light snoring sound, pretending to be fast asleep. The bedroom door was gently opened. "You. Her voice echoed in my ears. The voice that usually sounded gentle and delicate now felt like a demon's whisper. Her breath brushed against my ear, making the hairs all over my body stand on end. Seeing I had no reaction, Chen Xingju muttered to herself, "Looks like she's really asleep." I was overthinking it. How could someone killed by my own hands in the past life be worthy of rebirth? Then, she greedily added, "But you really smell so young and sweet." Goosebumps instantly erupted all over my skin. The door was shut with a thud. I didn't dare to open my eyes, continuing to maintain the state. A long time later, just as I was about to open my eyes to peek, an inexplicable sense of crisis shot straight down my spine, forcefully stopping me. Immediately after, a chilling voice sounded, "I know you're awake. You're hiding yourself. You've been reborn too, haven't you?" It turned out Chen Xingju hadn't left at all. Everything was just a test. She was holding the knife right now, standing by the bed, staring at me unblinkingly. My heart was pounding wildly in fear, but I still kept my breathing steady, snoring continuously. After a long time, seeing that I still didn't react, she finally left, only after making sure she was completely gone. Did I slowly open my eyes? On the monitor, Chen Xingju let out a long sigh of relief. I just tested her. She's sleeping like a dead pig. Even if she was reborn, so what? Could it be she's going around broadcasting the apocalypse? She would only be treated like a lunatic and sent to a mental asylum. Just then, Chen Bufan spoke up with a lecherous tone, "Mom, since Yu is going to die anyway, does that mean during this time I can?" I saw Chen Bufan wearing a lustful smile, walking step by step toward my room. My slightly relaxed body instantly tensed up again. Chen Bufan's hand had already grabbed my bedroom doorknob. "Brother, stop messing around." Fortunately, Chen Rian pulled him back in time. "If you do anything to her now, 3 months later, you'll be waiting for the apocalypse in a prison cell. Right now, we need to think of a way to coax the old man, scam his money, buy supplies, and build a doomsday safe house." Upon hearing this, Chen Xingju agreed with her daughter and stopped Chen Bufan. "Rian is right. When the time comes, you can have whatever woman you want." Saying this, the three of them had a glint in their eyes, rubbing their hands together, ready for action. 5 years ago, Chen Xingju brought her son and daughter to my home. Over these years, Chen Xingju didn't fight or argue, wholeheartedly serving my father, dutifully playing the role of a virtuous wife. Looking at it now, it was all an act. Maybe she started plotting for our family's assets in her past life. Fortunately, heaven gave me another chance at rebirth. This time, they are in the light, and I am in the dark. I am very much looking forward to their next moves. I will definitely make them pay. Early the next morning, as the sky was just getting bright, I hurried to the company. Using all my resources, I finally met with Professor Zhang. The old man sitting in front of me had a kind and approachable face, his eyes revealing the light of wisdom. He motioned for me to sit down and asked gently, "Young lady, I heard you've been looking for me. Is there something urgent?" I took a deep breath, trying hard to suppress my inner excitement, and slowly spoke up. "Professor, what I'm about to say might sound absurd, but please, you must believe me. 3 months from now, under the influence of solar radiation, a meteorite will completely destroy the Earth's atmosphere. At that time, global temperatures will skyrocket, plunging us into an extreme heat apocalypse." I revealed the research results from my past life all at once. In the last life, it was this old professor who withstood the pressure, sparing no cost, to find the true cause of the apocalypse. After a moment of silence, The old man slightly furrowed his brows, as if pondering my words. Young lady. Recently, solar radiation has indeed shown an abnormal fluctuation. But we haven't detected any impact on other substances. He paused, then continued, how about this? We will fully research this issue. If things are truly as you say, we will report it to the state and take appropriate measures. I stared at him with bright eyes, filled with trust. I believed Professor Zhang would definitely do it. After getting Professor Zhang's assurance, I didn't slack off. I ordered my assistant to freeze Chen Xingzu's family's credit cards and leak their personal information to loan sharks. Then I had the assistant purchase large quantities of long-lasting supplies in bulk, including instant noodles, compressed biscuits, bottled water, and various essential daily necessities. Refrigerators and freezers were also a must. Everything was secretly transported to my other properties. After finishing all this, I hired a private detective to constantly monitor the movements of Chen Xingzu's family. At the same time, while they were out, I installed 360-degree blind spot-free micro cameras all over the villa. A week later, the private detective reported to me, Miss He, the 3 people you asked me to follow have recently visited renovation companies and various large and small wholesale markets. Right now, a large group of workers is delivering goods to the villa. After saying this, he sent over a video. Chen Xingju and the other 2 knew they shouldn't attract too much attention, so they were fully disguised, wrapped up tightly. They were directing the workers batch by batch to move the supplies into the house. My father was nowhere to be seen in the video. I just quietly watched their actions. Buy, keep buying more. When you realize there's no money in the card at checkout, you'll fall right into the trap I set for you. When it was time to pay, the deliveryman's words stunned Chen Xingju. Miss Chen, there's no money in this card. Would you like to try a different card? She hurriedly took out a few more bank cards to try to pay. The result was the same. Insufficient balance. It must be that little bastard Yi Yu's doing. She forcefully suppressed her anger. After adjusting her emotions, she called me. Yi Yu? Aunt Chen originally wanted to add some things to the house today. The goods have been delivered to our door, but I found there's no money in the card. Can you check what's going on? Listening to the fawning voice coming from the phone, I sneered endlessly in my heart. Fortunately, the financial power was firmly in my hands. Now that they had no money, they had to lower themselves to ask me. I cleared my throat. Aunt Chen. Due to Chen Bufen's mistake, the company lost a huge order. I had to use this money to cover the deficit. If the board of directors finds out about this, it'll be very hard to resolve. Standing nearby, Chen Bufen pursed his lips, his eyes dodging constantly. Chen Xingju still wanted to say something, but I directly hung up the phone. As the deliveryman's expression gradually became impatient, Chen Rian pulled the mother and son aside to discuss. Just yesterday, a loan company approached me. Once the apocalypse hits, we won't even need to pay the money back. Right now, hoarding supplies is the most important thing. And so, the 3 of them successfully bought all the supplies. Afterward, the more they thought about it, the more suspicious they felt. They brought my father, Runfa, to the company to confront me. The old man stormed fiercely into my office. Why did you freeze your Aunt Chen's card? Do you know how hard Xingju has worked taking care of me all these years? As the younger generation, you should be filial. Runfa. You managing the company alone is troublesome enough. These are trivial matters. There's no need to drag us here to interrogate the child. It's all because Bufan lost the order. My stepmother hurriedly grabbed the old man, putting on a pitiful face. Looking at my father, who wholeheartedly sided with my stepmother, I inevitably felt a bit of sorrow in my heart. Indeed, with a stepmother, a biological father becomes a stepfather too. So what if an order is lost? Just set up a new card for them. The old man snorted coldly, his attitude unyielding. I took out a card and tossed it over. I have a card here with 1 million on it. That's more like it. The few of them, like victorious roosters, swaggered away, looking in the direction they left. I curled my lips into a cold smile. This card is a gift I specially prepared for them. The high-interest loan borrowed using their information. I hope they make good use of it. A month and a half later, good news finally arrived. Miss He, the information you brought after testing has all been fully verified. Soon, the higher-ups will take action. We are confident that within a month, we can stop the apocalypse from happening. Professor Zhang's reply instantly energized me. I cried out in excitement. That's wonderful. We finally won't have to suffer total annihilation. Professor Zhang smiled and said, we should be the ones thanking you. You are a great hero who saved all of humanity. Living another life. I had never been this happy before. Meanwhile, Chen Xingzu's family was completely unaware that the apocalyptic crisis had already drawn the state's attention, and that a solution was underway. They were still proceeding with the construction of their safe house, busily working inside and outside the villa, making all sorts of preparations. 1 month before the apocalypse, the 3 members of the Chen family racked their brains, trying every possible method to extract money from me. They fabricated one whole written excuse after another, saying some distant relatives were gravely ill and urgently needed life-saving money. I immediately bought a fruit basket and affectionately held my stepmother Chen Xingzu's hand. Aunt Chen, as family, I naturally cannot stand by and do nothing. I must personally go to the hospital to visit your relatives. Don't they ever think about getting another penny from me? The private detective reported to me again. Chen Bufan was currently holding the property deed and various jewelry as collateral to borrow from loan sharks, and this was exactly the opportunity I had been waiting for. I decisively called the police, stating that my property deed and some valuables had been stolen. The police solved the case with lightning speed. Chen Bufan was arrested in less than 2 hours. When I appeared at the police station, I didn't miss the fleeting look of resentment in his eyes. You? So it was you who called the police. We are all family. If there's an issue, let's talk about it at home. Don't let outsiders laugh at us here. I felt like I had heard the biggest joke in the world, letting out a dismissive, cold sneer. Who is family with you? You stole my property to sell it. The evidence is conclusive. Chen Bufan was completely dumbfounded. Behind me, Chen Xingju and Chen Ruyan, who rushed over, also froze. They couldn't understand why I suddenly turned hostile, showing no mercy at all. Clearly, just a while ago, under the old man's coercion, I gave them 1 million. You? Things are not what you think. Hurry up and drop the charges. Just say it was a misunderstanding on your part. Tell me. What's the misunderstanding? After looking around cautiously, Chen Bufan whispered in my ear. You? Let me tell you a secret. Actually, we are reborn. The extreme heat apocalypse is coming soon. Taking money from you recently was to hoard supplies and build a doomsday bunker. Time is running out now. If we don't act, it'll really be too late. Chen Xingju also hurried forward to echo him, saying, I know all this sounds unbelievable, but you have to believe us. We are doing this for your own good. If the extreme heat apocalypse doesn't come 3 months later, you can send me back here. I guarantee I won't have any complaints then. This family was already certain that the apocalypse would come. If they found out the apocalypse didn't happen, and everything was normal, what kind of expression would they have? You guys are reborn? Then why were only you reborn? Wasn't I reborn? The corners of their mouths twitched slightly, their eyes shifting away. A clear sign of a guilty conscience. Of course, they couldn't tell the truth. In the last life, you died in an accident while saving your father. After we were reborn, we decided to make up for what we owe you. Chen Xingju hypocritically squeezed out a tear. Chen Bufan also sighed heavily beside her. Enough. Do you think pretending to be insane will get you off the hook? I can drop the charges, but on one condition. I looked at them like they were idiots. What condition? I can agree to any condition. The three of them lit up. I want you to leave my dad. Chen Xingzu's face instantly changed. I won't agree. I've taken care of your dad for a full 5 years. On what grounds are you asking me to leave? The truth is, if she left now, it would be hard to leech money for the safe house later. Then there's no room for negotiation. I turned to leave. You, wait. Chen Xingju panicked. You? Your father would probably be reluctant to part with me, right? Threatening me? She arrogantly thought she had a hold on my weakness. Recalling my past life, my biological father actually killed me with his own hands for people like them. Of course, I wouldn't back down. You've always acted non-confrontational in front of the old man. If he finds out your precious son secretly embezzled company funds, do you think he'll still take your side? You. Chen Xingju instantly deflated like a punctured balloon. Hesitating, Chen Bufan obviously noticed his mom was compromising. Mom, you can't give up on me. Once the apocalypse comes, I'll die in here. The police officers nearby looked at him like he was an idiot. Chen Rian stepped forward, grabbed her brother's hand, and whispered in his ear. The safe house isn't ready yet. Give Mom and me a bit more time. Brother, endure being in here for a while. When the time comes, escape during the chaos. We'll be waiting for you in the safe house. I stood at the door, watching them perform this farce of filial piety. The taste of being abandoned by one's own mother isn't pleasant, is it? After I left, Chen Rian said resentfully, Mom, are we really going to let her off just like that? Chen Xingju said with a gloomy face. Wait until the apocalypse descends. She will definitely come begging us. We'll thoroughly torture her then. In the days that followed, the private detective kept sending me updates about the mother and daughter. They sold the houses, cars, jewelry, bags, absolutely everything they could sell. They also borrowed from every single relative and friend to get the money smoothly. They offered very high interest rates and deliberately set all repayment dates to after the apocalypse. At the same time, they were frantically taking out online loans, regardless of what platform, legitimate or not. As long as they could borrow, they borrowed. Furthermore, Chen Xingju and her daughter started doing something so outrageous that it left me completely dumbfounded. Chen Xingju actually made Chen Ruyan go on blind dates to scam betrothal gifts from men, ranging from a few thousand to hundreds of thousands. They accepted everything without refusal. Every day they rotated between blind dates and engagements. I was almost worried they might accidentally expose themselves. The promised wedding dates were all set for after the apocalypse. In their eyes, these people would all die in the sudden apocalypse anyway. Even if they luckily survived, they definitely wouldn't have the means to find them again. In order to speed up gathering funds, stepmother Chen Xingju even started prostituting herself. According to the private detective's exclusive information, and aided by the 360-degree surveillance cameras, I let the old man witness Chen Xingju hooking up with other old men with his own eyes. The old man was so enraged his face turned pale, nearly suffocating. He heartlessly kicked Chen Xingju and her daughter out of the villa. But at the same time, due to the heavy blow, he suffered a heart attack and was admitted to the hospital. From the moment he killed me, our father-daughter relationship vanished into thin air. Let him spend the rest of his life alone in the hospital. This was the last shred of sentiment I had for him. Next, it's time for me to clean up these escaping parasites. Unsurprisingly, the two arrived at their meticulously renovated Doomsday bunker. The roof was installed with numerous solar panels, dozens of large and small refrigerators and freezers. Insulation, cooling, and water purification systems were all complete. Half of the villa's rooms were packed with clean drinking water and food. At this moment, the mother and daughter were sitting in the villa, fully satisfied, comfortably enjoying their gourmet food. In 3 days, the extreme heat apocalypse was supposed to arrive. I guessed that to play it safe, they wouldn't leave the house anymore. Their good days were about to come to an end. I immediately took my next step, informing the victims about the two's fraudulent actions, and incidentally spread the word that they refused to pay their debts and were preparing to take the money and run. I also accidentally leaked the address of their so-called safe house. 2 days before the apocalypse, dozens of people gathered outside the safe house. After asking around among themselves, these people were all surprisingly Chen Ruyan's fiancés. The crowd's eyes instantly went red with anger, recklessly charging at the safe house to demand an explanation. Bastards! How dare you scam me? Get the hell out here. See if I don't peel your skin off. Give us our money back. Chen Xingju and Chen Ruyan simply refused to come out. Inside, the two were still feeling smug. Do you think a doomsday bunker built with huge sums of money is something you guys can destroy? The crowd called the police. After 3 hours of forceful breaching by the police, the safe house fell. The mother and daughter were completely shocked. Their faces turned extremely ugly. Mom, didn't you say they couldn't break through? What do we do? What do we do? The two still delusionally thought they could escape in the chaos, but that group of old men and creditors swarmed up, punching and kicking them. After taking a brutal beating, they were still stubbornly and crazily screaming. I'm not going anywhere. The apocalypse is coming. All of you are going to burn to death. Let me go, I don't want to die. As long as you let us go, we'll share our supplies with you. Stop hitting me. The scene was chaotic for a time. I blended in with the crowd watching the drama from afar. When the police pulled the two out, the mother and daughter were already covered in bruises. They were arrested by the police on suspicion of fraud and illegal fundraising. Back at the police station, the two kept muttering that the apocalypse was about to descend. Everyone treated them like lunatics. I followed them to the police station too. Using my identity as an involved party, I found a chance to speak to the two of them. Aunt Chen, I also have a secret to tell you. Actually, I was reborn too. Now, your safe house has been taken over by me. You two and Chen Bufan, just wait in prison for the apocalypse to come. Under their shocked and unbelievable gazes, I put on a provocative smile, ignoring their vicious curses. I stepped out of the police station. The feeling of utterly crushing their spirits was truly addicting. On the day the apocalypse was supposed to hit, I was sincerely invited by Professor Zhang to witness the process of shooting down the meteorite with a single command. Hundreds of missiles were launched into space simultaneously. In a place our naked eyes couldn't see, the meteorite that was originally going to destroy the Earth shattered into several pieces and finally completely vanished upon interacting with the atmosphere. The mission was successfully completed. I could be considered to have saved the Earth too. I was very lucky to witness all of this. Come to think of it, this must be the meaning of my rebirth. Soon, the results of the police investigation came out. Chen Bufan was suspected of theft and illegal fundraising, and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Chen Xingju and Chen Ruyan, suspected of fraud and illegal fundraising, were sentenced to 10 years in prison, with all their assets confiscated. At the defendant's stand, after hearing her sentence, Chen Xingju fainted on the spot. Chen Ruyan threw a massive tantrum in court. Chen Bufan's eyes were completely red, muttering to himself, "Why is it like this? It shouldn't be like this. Why didn't the apocalypse come?" And for this question, before the three of them received their respective punishments, they got the answer. Do you know why the apocalypse didn't come? Because I reported it to the state at the very first opportunity. I smiled mockingly at Chen Bufan. Chen Bufan's eyes instantly widened. Then, like a mad beast, he roared, You! Give the apocalypse back to me. I clearly could have become the king of the apocalypse by hoarding supplies. What right do you have to stop the apocalypse from coming? I shook my head and said, Chen Bufan, people like you don't deserve to be reborn. How many people died in the apocalypse? It was a catastrophe for all of humanity, yet you actually didn't care at all. Instead, you wanted to rely on humanity's disaster to step up to the peak of your life. I was truly blind to have agreed to let the old man bring your family into my house. A week later, because I reported the apocalyptic information to the state and successfully prevented the apocalypse, I was awarded a first-class merit. My company's stock price also skyrocketed as a result. reaching a whole new peak.